if you see that, oh, I'm not attracting, I try so hard, I'm doing so many things and it just doesn't happen, then you're not on that frequency, you're not attracting, and you're not acting on that frequency as well. So when we stumble on the concept of manifestation, we get fascinated. Most of us get fascinated that, wow, this is so beautiful. I can have whatever I want. I have to create a picture in my mind. I have to visualize it. I have to feel it. I have to live in the end, Neville Goddard's term. I have to feel the feeling. I have to just feel as if it's here. I have to talk into present. But one of the things that is almost avoided, it's never talked about, it's not in the mainstream of information, that it is not just about feeling it or seeing it or living there. Of course, live in the end, but living also entitles that you have to be that person now. You have to embody the identity of that person. Before I knew it, what I was doing, I stumbled on this concept. So many of you, it was so beautiful. And I would just all day keep watching and listening to trainings over trainings all day. I would just be watching or listening to trainings. Like, I used to have my AirPods on and I would spend all day, even if I'm working, I'm doing something, I'm looking after the kids, whatever I was doing, I would spend all day just listening to make sure that I'm not missing anything, right? And years passed and nothing was changing. None of my result was changing. I wasn't able to manifest a lot of things. And then I learned about this concept that, oh, it's the law of gestation, that you have to wait. There is some time period allotted. And I waited and nothing changed. And then one day, out of frustration, I think I asked for the answers, I stumbled on this concept of self-concept, that you have to become that person. You have to be it. What does it really mean when I say be it? It means that you shift your identity. You shift your identity to that person, right? For example, if you tell me today that I love sleeping early at night, I'm an early sleeper. What is that? That's an identity, right? I struggle with money. I'm not so good with money. What is that? That's an identity. You think you are not so good at money. You were not born not being so good with money. You just think, and that's why you become, right? You took on an identity, maybe in your childhood, maybe based on the conversations that were happening around you, and you took on that identity and that became who you are, right? We don't attract what we want. We attract who we are. If you say to yourself, oh, I'm not really good in maths. Let's take that example. That's an identity. You were not born being not good at maths. Everything that we say about ourselves, every single phrase, every single comment that we make about ourselves is an identity that we think we are that. And then we become that person because we keep auto-suggesting. A lot of people auto-suggest that, oh, I always get things wrong. Oh, I get angry very quickly. I want to make sure I end the argument, right? Whatever that thing we say about us is the identity we hold. When I observe my thoughts, I always say, what am I thinking? And what are those thoughts telling me about my identity, about the beliefs that I hold? And even when I talk to my clients or I do discovery calls, I always try to figure out that what is that identity or energetic alignment that you're operating with. And every single phrase, every single thought, every single idea that you hold, there is an identity behind it. There is an identity. I'm very hardworking. I procrastinate a lot. Everything that you say about yourself is not what you really are, it's what you think you are, whether it's negative or whether it's positive. And because you think you are, you become that. Now the question is, what does that version of you looks like who has manifested what you are desiring? When you step into that version, when you become that version, that's when it's going to happen. A lot of times people say to me that, oh, I go in my imagination, I see myself there and I feel really good and I know it's coming. It's not coming that way. You have to be it. You have to energetically become that person. That means you have to walk like that person. You have to talk like that person. You have to think like that person. You have to feel like that person. You have to behave like that person. You have to do the actions that that person would do, right? Let's take my example. I really wanted to teach this material. I really wanted to teach it, and I was obsessed with it. As I told you, I used to listen to those trainings every single day until I knew and all the time throughout the day, until I knew the missing piece of the puzzle, right? The self-concept piece, and that is everything. When I was doing that, I wanted to teach it, but I wasn't able to embody the identity of a coach. So I didn't ask myself that what would a coach do? What would a successful coach, at that time I didn't have any results, I didn't have anything, would do, right? And become that. Think like her, talk like her, be like her, feel like her, act like her, do the things that coach would do. My identity was that I just quit my corporate job. So I was a corporate manager, right? So that was my identity. And now a corporate manager is trying to become a successful coach. But I always told myself that I am trying, and I'm visualizing, I'm seeing it, it's so good, I can see my vision, I feel it, but I wasn't in it. Like, I wasn't living it. And when I say live, I don't just mean that you visualize it or you feel it and you feel good about it. It's not that. It's about you become that version. Now, the biggest misconception is that if I'm feeling good and happy, then I am on the right vibration. Let's talk about money, right? If we be very specific with money, and we say that if I'm feeling good and happy, that means I'm attracting money, then are all rich people all the time happy? Probably not, right? Some of the rich people are super miserable. They sometimes get very angry. Money has nothing to do with your happiness. Money has nothing to do with how happy you feel or how sad you feel. If you generally hold the identity of a person who gets angry very quickly, no matter how much money you attract, you're going to have the same things, you're going to have the same mood swings. Happiness and feeling good is nothing to do with attracting more money. Money has a different frequency, and money has a specific frequency. Let me give you an example to really make it clear to you, because I committed and I'm going to make it super clear for you. Let's think of this way, that you are on a diet. I don't highly recommend diet. I recommend loving yourself and then being kind to yourself and then looking after your health and focusing on your healthiest version. But I'm just giving you for the sake of example, because it's a really good example and connection. Imagine you're on a diet and you're checking your weight on the weighing machine, and then you see that, oh my god, I have just released, or I say released, I don't say lost, I've just released 5 kilos. When you did your new meal plan or whatever you did, you got the feedback from the machine, from the weighing machine, that you have released 5 kilos, right? So you knew that I'm on track, or maybe I'm not on track from my target, whatever your target is, besides the point. That is the thing with money, right? So when you are on the money frequency, at the end of every month, really, you should know how much money you have attracted, right? You would know to the finest penny, you would know how much money came in your life. And if that amount of money didn't come in, that means you were not on the frequency. You were not on the frequency. It works like physics, guys. Every end of the month, you can know what frequency you operated at throughout that month, right? And at the end of every year, you would know what dominant frequency you had at the end of that year, and that is your feedback. That is your feedback to the work you're doing, the mental work you're doing. That if you are on that frequency, the money has to flow in, and if the money is not flowing in, that means you're not at that frequency. There is nothing to be waiting for. It's right here, right now, and money responds to your frequency. Now the question could be, what is money frequency? You're saying frequency, what does it mean? What it means is that, do you feel like that version of you who has already got that money? Do you think like that version of you? So you take decisions. Do you take decisions from that place? When you feel, do you feel confident, empowered from that place? You can still feel angry, by the way, because rich people get angry as well, right? So money has nothing to do with feel good all the time, right? You can, then the question is that, do you act like that person? So I was trying to be a coach. I didn't see myself as a coach, so I never showed up on social media. I was just putting posts. I was behind the camera, trying to hide away, trying to work on the funnels and say, maybe this funnel is gonna kick off. But no, it's my self-concept. Do I see myself as a coach? What would a highly successful coach do? The highly successful coach will go and add value, would teach her people, would try to help them every single day, would show up, would do all the work. And when I embodied that identity, the clients started to flow in so much. Like I'm so grateful now, right? That I attracted the people who I'm meant to really serve. And I'm so grateful for that I'm attracting so many people in my world. The key is that you have to vibrationally align. You have to become that person. Now, the problem that happens with most of us is that we have thousands of beliefs, or I would say at least hundreds of beliefs, which do not align with that vision. And they're all subconscious. And we don't even know about most of them, right? When I do the work with my clients, I see that there are so many things out there which are not aligning. And then we release it. And within a month, I see it's like a completely different person. Ooh, now I get to meet the real you, right? What are those beliefs, those ideas, those paradigms, those consciousness that you have right now that started when you were born, even before you were born, that you're holding on, that are not supporting that identity, that are not supporting that vibration? One of the things could be that I'm not so good with money. Money's always tight, or I would love to have more, but I don't know how can I do it, or all those negative thoughts, right? I'm not good with this. I can't be visible. I don't have that confidence. I procrastinate a lot. If you find yourself checking social media a lot, right? You are sitting on your phone and hours pass. That is the mental program. That is your self-concept. It's stopping you from breaking through to that level because it wants you to just distract yourself. So it is like an autopilot program. You won't even realize how much time you have spent and not done what you're supposed to do because that program is controlling you. And when we change that program, when we elevate our self-concept, then on subconscious level, without us even realizing or keeping track or disciplining or forcing ourselves, in spirit, in our being, right, we naturally start doing those things. So for me, coming here and talking to you is who I am. It's my identity. I come live every single day. I show up, I share my message, I share my thought, I add value, I help. And I try to help as much as I can, as much as I have a sincere desire to help, to add value, to help you get to your vision faster, right? And as a part of my identity, I believe that my success is only going to happen when you are successful, when I see you achieving what you want. So the key is that what is included in your identity, which was created at a subconscious level when you were a child, and all those things are a mental program. And if you see that, oh, I'm not attracting, I try so hard, I'm doing so many things and it just doesn't happen, then you're not on that frequency, you're not attracting, and you're not acting on that frequency as well. So if you ask me, is it hard for you to come and do live every single day? No, it's very hard for me not to do it because that's who I am. Right? Think of somebody who has a really difficult profession like gymnastics, right? When we see them, we are like, oh my God, how can they do this? This is so difficult. We can't even think about it. But why is it so easy for them? Because it's their identity. They consider themselves as an athlete. They consider themselves as very flexible. And as a part of their identity, it just unfolds and it's so easy for them, right? For us, it's very difficult because we don't see ourselves like that. So when we unlock the identity, everything just unfolds. Everything just happens with ease and flow. Everything happens in an aligned way. That's when we take the shortest distance because our mind is guiding us now. It's like acting as a GPS. Like we are sitting in the car, we are driving, and we know we're going to get there because we're on the right track. But the problem is that most of the time I see with a lot of people, and that's why I'm saying it over and over again, because I was one of them and I know the pain of feeling stuck and just waiting and not understanding what am I missing, is that you cannot just say, okay, I'm visualizing, I'm feeling, I'm doing this, and I'm just waiting for it to come. No, you have to calibrate up to that level. You have to become that version in all your being, and for that you need to follow frameworks, you need to follow systems, you need to follow really the patterns that how it works, because it's not easy to elevate and calibrate up to that version when your 3D doesn't change, when nothing around you changes. And let me tell you this, I do this work with my clients every single day, right? And I have done it for myself as well, that when we go and see that what are those paradigms that we are holding on to, and what are those blocks that we are holding on to, whether beliefs and identities, hundreds of things come. And it is shocking. A lot of times my clients get shocked that, oh my God, I didn't know that. Yes, because it's at a subconscious level, but once it's released, it's like, wow, you know, I am that person now. I feel that we get to that point where we say, how come I wasn't that person? I have always been that person. So how come I wasn't her? When was I wasn't her, right? So your identity becomes so close to who you really are. So it's like you are this, and you were born with limitless potential and everything, your purpose, your gifts, right? And then you unlock and break away from all the shackles, all the limiting beliefs, all the older self-concept connotations, and you become who you really are. And then when you're so aligned and so in flow with who you really are, that you almost forget that you are not that person, because you were born that way, right? It is such a beautiful thing, guys, that it is not just about visualizing, it is not just about feeling, it is not just about hoping and waiting that's gonna come. It's about being, right? Being who you really are. That means releasing hundreds of old connotations, the things that don't support you, and embodying who you really are. So creating a new identity, and I teach you that, and really becoming him or her. So if you're saying, okay, Anna, what are my blocks? How do I find out? I can help you. I can help you for absolutely free. I would love to offer you for a free call, for a free self-concept makeover call, where we can go in a lot of depth and talk about what are the blocks that you're not even aware of. What is it that's holding you back? And the people who go through this, they absolutely love the clarity. That call only gives you clarity, and it's so much clarity that it blows, like you'll be blown away that how much clarity you get, that what is really holding you back, and how can you get to that level. So let's not just hope, visualize, and feel. Let's just be, right? So I will put the link in the comments. If you want to book a call, do that. But guys, let's not get stuck, right? Whatever you desire is already yours. Let's just get it. Let's just claim it and have it. But before that, you have to claim who you really are, right? Because you were born that way. So I'll put the link, and I would love to chat with you one-to-one. It's absolutely free. I don't know for how long I'm going to keep it free, because there is a huge demand for it, and I love to help you guys. But sometimes I get very limited on my time. But I would love to help you. For now, it's absolutely free. Book a call, and let's just break away from all the things that are holding you back, and be who you really are, and attract your mind-blowing vision.